This program is brought to you by Hungry Jack's and Bunnings Warehouse.
That defence across the Tasman on Sunday.
Playoff basketball is here. It's the beginning of the end for one of these teams. And boy, we are excited for this one. The Breakers stealing second spot with an OT win in Brizzy and setting up home court advantage for the first time in 8 years. The Taipans Fangs no match for the JackJumpers bite. Tasmania with the upset win in the Snake Pit to secure third spot in their second semi-final berth in as many years. Only one team advances. Who throws the first punch? It's Tassie and the Breakers on your home of sport, Sky Sports. Kia ora, good evening and welcome along to downtown Tamaki Makaurau. It's a little bit cyclonic outside of Spark Arena, but the fans have made the journey inside to what will be a charged atmosphere for a very important playoff game. Hello everyone, welcome along to semi-final playoff game number 1 between these two teams. I'm Andrew Mulligan alongside Casey Frank, Brooke Roscoe and Courtney Tidy on hand as well. We'll get to them momentarily. Casey Frank, atmosphere electric. Playoff basketball's back at Spark Arena.
And it has been a long time between drinks, but the Breakers are thirsty and they are looking to lap it up. Whatever the cyclone brings, they are going to drink it up, and the fans today have braved it. They're here to see a good show themselves.
If you've just joined the broadcast, Barry Brown Jr., a question mark over his wrist. He is good to go, Casey. What does that do for the sixth man of the year?
Well, it certainly picks up the offensive efficiency in the half court, but it's very key what Barry Brown Jr. we get. Are we going to get the 19 points per game superstar, or are we going to get a tentative player who's looking out for that hand? Certainly Tasmania will have their eyes on that hand and test it out.
Courtney, a few holes in the crowd at the moment with the seats, but you can understand that it's a little bit wild outside.
Well, kia ora, Miles, it absolutely is, with a cyclone hitting Auckland, but I tell you what, that has not stopped the fans from coming out. Over 6,500 tickets were sold. I know the Breakers are grateful for all the fans that have turned up. It's absolutely electric down here courtside, but they also give a big thank you to all the fans that are at home tuning into the broadcast.
Yeah, something right about the Breakers being back. It just feels like home cooking, like mum's cooking. They're back in the playoffs, and the big number for me today is number 5. They're chasing Ben at number 5. They're 5 wins away from it, but as Casey and Mulch just talked about, the impact of having Barry Brown Jr. out there. What sort of Barry Brown are we going to get? Time will tell, but that is huge for all Breakers fans.
It certainly is, and for the JackJumpers, they're looking to get huge with Milton Doyle, and they're head-to-head alongside Barry Brown Jr. Casey. These two players will have a huge hand, mind the pun, with Barry Brown's wrist injury on this game.
Yeah, two guys that excel out of pick and roll and isolation basketball, two of the highest usage players in the pick and roll. So it's going to be interesting to see how the teams decide to defend both these guys. Are they going to see doubles? Are going to see hard show and recovers? Whichever it is, it's going to be a lot of action, and the player that does a better job with efficiency coming out of that pick and roll will go a long way towards getting his team that offensive advantage.
We've already seen the result of the playing game earlier. Cairns getting the win over the Perth Wildcats, so they will face the Sydney Kings in the other semi-final series. And Barry Brown Jr. will not start the game, will come off the bench as he does, and that is why he is the freshly crowned sixth man of the year. Shade under 20 points a game, and Milton Doyle, all NBL first team as well. JackJumpers, super grindy team. Both these teams have a very similar style. The Breakers got the regular season record 3-1 in the best of 4. And here is your starting 5 for the Breakers. In the backcourt, it will be Will McDowell-White and Ryan Repair with Abercrombie, the captain on the perimeter. Up front, Jarrell Brantley, who has been on fire in this 5-game win streak to end the regular season alongside Derek Pardon.
Yeah, I'd like to see this team get really aggressive defensively, use that length of Repair and Abercrombie to try and disrupt what Tasmania does in the half court, and certainly that's the mandate from Coach Moore.
Milton Doyle averaging around 17 points a game. They'll need all of those points with Josh Majette out of this game with a face injury. Matt Kenyon and Jared Weeks, the former Breaker, into the starting lineup. Doyle, Rashad Kelly, the other import, and Big Will Magnay patrolling the paint.
It's a physical front line, and they would have been told by Coach Scott Roth that they have to get on the glass. Winning the rebound so key in their lone victory against the Breakers this season. They're looking to repeat that performance and getting off to a great start. Last time out, they had 27 points in the first quarter.
And yes, Breaker Nation, that is Mika Vakona on that JackJumpers bench. You might have seen him in the back of shot, and you can just imagine that the handprint of Mika Vakona on the style of basketball with Scott Roth and his coaching staff as well. We're about to get underway. The semi-final series of NBL23 about to tip off at Spark Arena. And as custom, it gets real loud, real quick here to start this game. It will be Magnay and Pardon to jump it up. And those are your referees for today's game. Got to get the time just right before we get to tip off, Casey. Will Magnay locked in the semi-final game number 1. Just their second season in the NBL. Went down the grand finals against the Sydney Kings, swept out of the grand finals. They are desperate to get back. They may match up against Cairns or Sydney in the other semi-final series if they get the win. They've got to do it on the road. That is something they have not been able to do, to beat the Breakers at Spark Arena this season. And we will have JackJumpers in position to start the game.
And it's key to the JackJumpers. How do they get off to a good start? 27 points in their victory against the Breakers in that first quarter. Can they do it today?
Milton Doyle.
Let off the hook there. You can't leave that guy wide open too many times and have a result like that. He'll be lining up the next one then.
Two former Breakers teammates, who ironically were in Tasmania for a bulk of COVID years. Match it up with Weeks and McDowell White, and he gets the better of the matchup, does the Breakers guard.
McDowell White missed the last matchup between these two, and he has been so key late in the season in that half-court execution. Love the aggression to the rim early.
It's Weeks operating with Magnay up high. He gets the rim, and it's going to be the defensive repair, and Pardon coming across and repair. Rewarded with a starting spot. Out on the break, stepping through. The Euro with the Euro.
Well, beautiful transition skill. He is brilliant on the break, and you see the results there. 1 on 4. He gets it done with that in and out.
So long. It's Ryan Rupert. They're going to travel with the pivot foot being dragged and a turnover early on for the JackJumpers.
Playoff game number 1. Coming out here, see Rupert on the break. Look at that, inside to outside, gives him the step, and a beautiful finish with the right in transition, living up to that draft prospect.
Looks like Mercury at times, does Ryan Rupert. So fluid as Pardon works his magic inside, and Derek Pardon going back to that strength game in the key.
Yeah, he's struggled against the JackJumpers this season, though. One of the teams that have been able to hold him underneath his normal effectiveness, not so on the first possession.
Kenyon spinning, left hand, tough finish from Matt Kenyon.
Well, like that mindset, he traveled last time, he was not aggressive enough, so next time with the ball in hand, super aggressive, using that strength and great skill with the spin move.
McDowell White looking at the crossover, going at Kenyon, high off the glass, and Magnay rips down the rebound.
Just Derek Pardon on the glass. Breakers not sending a lot of guys there, more concerned about transition defense.
Wild pass corralled by Weeks. Doyle up high, single digits on the shot clock. Operating on Rupert, picks his pocket. Wow. Rashard Kelly tracks back. Rupert has a block by Kelly, and he's going to get him on the arm.
Well, Rupert living up to that scout, sitting on Milton Doyle's right hand, trying to force him to that left. Doyle decides to go right anywhere, and the pocket picked with the length of Rupert. What skill he shows there, and then aggression once again on the rim. Look at that slow second step that gets Kelly in the air before he's ready to jump, takes the contact into the lane. The young fella enjoying playoff atmosphere.
Rupert, his father Terry, a French national captain, passed away when Ryan was a kid, and this spirit lives on. And Ryan Rupert, by all accounts, extremely dedicated to the craft. For a kid his age, tremendous upside. Got some wingspan is there. And he's cut Kelly operating on Abercrombie, crossed him up, back of the iron. McDowell White rips down the rebound, gives it up to Rupert, who's filling the wings with ease. Right hand, Pardon with the clean-up job.
Well, transition opportunities. These are two of the slower-paced teams, but this Breaker squad loves to run when the opportunity arises, and with Rapur out there, that opportunity is often.
Kelly wants to go at Abercrombie. And we got another travel, and not a lot of protesting from Kelly on that one.
Take another look at the drive. Rapur goes to the right hand, but Derek Pardon right where he needs to be for the finish, up and above the rim. 7-point lead for the Breakers.
Rapur. Gives it to Pardon up high. Looking for the backdoor cut. McDowell White spinning. Oh my goodness. Magnay gets it all though. Oh my goodness.
Not sure how he kept the ball, much less made a move with it. You not often see a guard stop a back cut and then still somehow catch the ball. Excellent awareness by him, but a bit of a sloppy play early. Got to get all those passers on the same page as the cutters.
McDowell White giving it up to Pardon up high. With 9 on the shot clock. Only just started as well. They might have snuck in a cheeky second in there. McDowell White with Kenyon. Pardon up high. 2 to shoot. Step back. As the shot clock expires, he knocks down the 3.
Man, the confidence in that shot as the Tasmanian JackJumpers call timeout to discuss what they're seeing. But the confidence of William McDowell White is superb. Look how much space he creates with that backward step. I thought Magnay was going to get a piece, but because of that huge step and the space created, he's able to find the space and stretch this out to a 10-point lead early. Everything coming up for the Breakers now.
This is not the start that Scott Roth and the JackJumpers wanted, especially at this pace. Let's go to Milton Doyle's thoughts before this game.
Well, Milton, after a great first-round win, you're here in the finals now against a team you're pretty familiar with. 5th game of the season against the Breakers, only you've missed a couple yourself. But in those games, what lessons have the JackJumpers learned that you have to take in today and really hammer home?
Just take care of the physical part of the game. They push you out of your spots on offense. So we just got to get our spots and be able to run what we want to run, try to keep it on the three-point line instead of getting pushed to half court.
You personally, talking about that physicality, what lessons have you learned? You talked about getting your spots. How can you counteract that physicality to get to those spots and get the shots you need to, especially meaning so much to your team's offensive load?
Yeah, I think I'm going to be more of a decoy this game and take the shots that they give me. I know they're going to trap me and try to get me off the ball, so try to get these guys involved and they make some shots to free up my game.
I appreciate the time. Good luck today. An interesting tidbit shared by Milton Doyle in pregame that he was looking to be more of a decoy. The Breakers do give him so much attention, probably even more so with Jet out of the lineup, but down 10 early, I got a feeling he's going to have to get that ball in hand and do a little magic himself.
Gee whiz, Ballsy wanted to be a decoy. And agreed to that with an import down. Your playmaker, your creator, your three-point shooter, and Joshua Jet. Here's Doyle with the ball. Abercrombie, his defense is just ratcheted up. He's got a taste of playoff basketball. Again, 4 championships. And again, he's going around, and it's stuffed.
Well, it should have had a reset on the shot clock, but yeah.
Did it hit the rim?
I thought it hit the rim.
Yes, 14 points.
The shot came short, but on the tip, it looked like it had hit it up underneath. Just short there, but then as it bounces back up, hits the rim on that one. So misses there, hits there, officially a shot nonetheless. And that's the first offensive rebound of the game for Tasmania.
So Doyle will get us back underway. Tweaks. Long arms of repair on him. Magnay rolls, finds him, meets McDowell White, and it's going to be Doyle knocking down a 3, but he can't. Excuse me, Retur gets in a little bit of trouble, but the poise is there. Here comes Jarrell Brantley.
Breakers so aggressively defensively early. The JackJumpers have to find a way to counter that aggression.
Brantley getting aggressive in the post with Doyle's defense. He wants it back. And there's going to be a whistle, and Kenyon, Scott Roth has said, let's get a bit more physical, and that has been a trademark of the Breakers, and a lot of teams have mentioned that, but the JackJumpers looking to fight fire with fires. Jack McVeigh comes into the game, and so does McDonald with Kelly and Weeks sitting down.
No question, these teams have similar blueprints. Physical defense on one end, control the glass, control the pace. 3 out of the 4 games, the Breakers did a better job of that than did the JackJumpers, but you can see how the JackJumpers can lift that physicality when they need, as they have done the last couple possessions.
Sean McDonald off the bench and producing for Scott Roth in this postseason. Brantley with 3 on the shot clock. And it's the rebound, Kenyon, who has it. And it's Jack McVeigh kicking it back out.
Oh, that's a great steal, but
Almost got it. Kenyon left alone. Oh, what a rebound from McDowell. White gets it back from Pardon.
Breakers are just eating up the glass right now, springing body after body. The guards are doing a nice job of coming back from the long ones as well.
Pardon on the face-out sees a hint of a double team going at McVeigh, trying to get physical with him, and Magnay rips that down. Nice rebound, good defense from Jack McVeigh.
That might have had a chance to drop in had the big fella not gotten up above the rim to pull it off. Good heads-up play there.
McVeigh wants the mismatch. Here's McDowell White. Has him out wide. Brantley comes over. 3 ball on the way. Another missed 3 by the JackJumpers, looking for their first one. Magnay, though, another rebound.
Well, Magnay's doing a nice job of getting himself involved. Hasn't had a lot of touches, but now starting to enforce his will in the game the last couple possessions.
Doyle off a nice McDonald screen, and he gets a clean look and knocks it down.
Well, when you're seeing an aggressive defense like this that's out in the passing lanes, you need more movement, faster movement, try to confuse them. And that second chance opportunity is a little chance to fatigue the defense and get that little better look at it.
Isaiah Liafa's out there for Tom Abercrombie, who's about to check back in as Repair misses the contested shot.
Despite this great start for the Breakers, not a lot happening in the half court. It's been a lot of transition.
McDonald in the corner. Good closeout from McDowell White. Brantley with the rebound.
Back in transition are the Breakers. How aggressive do they want to be?
Brantley felt the contact and gets the and one.
Well, Brantley really likes that matchup against Jack McVeigh. Jack McVeigh, a fantastic player, but possibly in this matchup, just given a little bit of bone marrow. Brantley's got that physical advantage and so skilled with the ball in hand at the same time. Here you see the quickness, the ball handling, takes the bump and shows off the soft touch with a bit of a fadeaway. McVeigh did not like that call, but the whistle goes and sends Jarrell Brantley to the line to complete the old-fashioned 3-point play.
Jarrell Brantley spent time at the Utah Jazz in the NBA 37 games at Salt Lake City. 6'6" forward of Charleston, South Carolina. Converts the 3-point play opportunity. Rob Lowe back in the game. Into the game. Tom Abercrombie reinserted. And Barry Brown Jr., sore wrist, heavily taped out there at the moment. How much will they need him? Time will only tell. Krislovich for the Tasmania JackJumpers gives it to McVeigh with 4 to shoot. Brantley all over him. Running one-hander. Good rebound by Lowe after it's tipped by Barry Brown Jr. Liafa, wing shot. Abercrombie, too strong.
The Breakers are pushing the pace early. You know that one of the slower teams in the league, but they are running at every opportunity off those defensive rebounds. Tasmania may have to adjust their game plan, send less people to the offensive glass.
15-5, coming up on 3 minutes to go in the first quarter. Isaac White, nice pass to Kenyon. 5 to shoot for Tasmania. Straight into Barry Brown. Oh, finds Krislovich. Gets the layup. Patience is a virtue.
Well, patience is correct. A lot of opportunities there, but they took the best one. And Krislovich has had a couple of good games against the Breakers. They have to be particularly aware from him from behind the 3-point line.
Looking at a 2-3 zone at the moment. Abercrombie with a runner.
Yeah, great box out by Isaac White, who starts the break afterwards.
Why not Isaac White? Get in there. Isaac White just pushing it. Saying, hey, we can run as well. And Modi Mao does not like that at all. And he calls timeout.
Well, you'd love to see bench players come in and have effect. Krislovich and Isaac White have been in for about 3 possessions, but instantly have an impact. Krislovich with the putback, or had the finish of play before, and then that defensive box out, rebound into transition before the Breakers are able to set up that long, stretchy defense, heads up play, and possibly a little bit look at what the JackJumpers need to do to get successful.
Let's go to Courtney Tiley, who's courtside.
Well, Kilda, I'm here with Johnny Tuivasa. Well, Johnny, you're sitting courtside. How is the vibe here inside the stadium?
It is crazy. Pulling up, we'll be like, oh, we had the cyclone warning, so who knows what's going to happen. But, yo, NZ has turned up. NZ has turned up, and it's crazy. It's going off.
And the Breakers are in the playoffs for the first time in 5 years. What does this mean for you as a big Breaker fan?
Oh, easy dubs. Look at it. Wait, we're going to take this out light work, baby. Let's go.
We're going all the way to the ship. We're going to win a premiership.
100%. I want a ring, too.
Thank you.
See ya.
I'd love it if they won 2 in a row. It's very hard to do. Just have to ask the Sydney Kings, of course.
Well, you might want to start with one. Maybe start with one and then go from there.
Love Johnny Tuivasa and his energy online.
He must be pretty caffeinated.
Yeah, it's high. I'm hyped.
you got me going.
And so, Sam McDaniel, Scott Roth, and Courtney was with Johnny, and Brooke was listening on the Tasmania bench.
Yeah, listening to Scott Rath there, and that's a man who's been there before. Cool, calm, collected, showing that they were in the championship last year, looking to go one better. They took their first punch from the Breakers. They withstood it. Then the bench came on, and they did what they've been doing as of late. Won't be happy with that easy bucket from Rob Lowe down low, but was happy with how they withstood that first punch and really got the crowd out of it.
Good first quarter from the Breakers at home, something, Casey, they haven't been very good at.
Yeah, absolutely. Nice job. Scott Ralph mentioned in that timeout was that counterpunch there is so huge, as we see McDonald miss that to the Brantley rebound. But that counterpunch, after going down early, they've shown a lot of character already. Now they have to continue that momentum.
JackJumpers 1 for 7 from downtown. In this first quarter, under 2 to go. Brantley losing the handle somewhat. Then good defense shuts him down from Krislovich. 7 on the shot clock. The Arthur and Low operating, and Modi Moa catches the ball.
Nice job by Tasmania getting up and aggressive on that on ball, forcing Leafa to pick up the ball, not giving him a clean look out of it. And after some decent looks early, the Breakers struggling in the half court, the aggressiveness and the physicality of Tasmania forcing them off the line. These teams mirror images of each other defensively.
Tasmania 9-5 in the regular season on the road. The Breakers 7-7 and different somewhat at times in this league. Battled all sorts of different injuries, form, back-to-backs, just like any other team as we get the ball fired into the Hollywood seats. Dad saving the kids, you love to see it. There was no one sitting in that empty chair, by the way.
Third offensive rebound already for Tasmania. This is certainly a recipe to their success, and they're preparing it well early.
Isaac White goes down awkwardly, and we've got a foul on the floor.
Leafa tried to get chesty there. Just Isaac White straight to the floor. Stepping up a little bit ginger as well. Might have tweaked an ankle there.
Chesty like a 3-year-old coming home from daycare.
Speaking of, daycare canceled tomorrow. My kids are going to be chesty as.
Can I drop mine off to yours?
They're not going to come home with good habits unless you know that.
That's actually a good point. Krislovich up high, 8 on the shot clock. Isaac White, Abercrombie on him. Gonna go between the legs. Fading. Oh my. Oh, unlucky. Man, that deserved to go in.
Oh, I love the aggressiveness though. He is here to play. Doesn't matter where you start a season, matters where you finish, and it's on the court for Isaac White.
Good hands from Vodanovic. Now he's in the post. Oh, left hand from Tom Vodanovic.
Breakers really looking to be aggressive and determined in the post, taking their time down there. If the double doesn't come, they look confident to get the finish on that second or third move.
Modi Moa loves going to Tom Vodanovic. He loves his defensive energy as Krislovich knocks down just the Tasmanian second 3.
Breakers have to be aware of him from outside. When the Tasmania beat the Breakers in Tasmania, he was key. He had a stretch where he hit multiple three-pointers in a row, and Rob Lowe, Derek Parton have to be aware of his skill there.
Harry Brown loses it. Isaac White stripped him. Yeah, Krislovich shooting 34% for a big man from downtown. Sean McDonald with the ball. Shot clock is off. 5 left in the first. For 3. In and out. McDowell White holds on to it, and a good opening first quarter for the Breakers. They lead the Tasmania JackJumpers after 10 minutes in semi-final series number 1. Game number 1, they lead them by 7 at Spark Arena.
Every question that you get right, you walk away with $25. If you reach the 5 get into it. Get ready for the My Music Minute. 60 seconds. 10 questions.
Your time starts now.
At the 2009 MTV Music Video Awards, who erupted Taylor Swift on stage? Correct. Who sings No Scrubs and Waterfall? Correct. Finish the lyrics. I love it when you call me Big Papa. Correct. Which rapper recently toured LDN Raw with the Red Hot Chili Peppers? Correct. Which artist broke the record for most career wins at the 2023 Grammy Awards? Next question. Which legendary hip-hop rapper is touring New Zealand on his I Wanna Thank You tour? The show Pimp My Ride was hosted by which rapper? Kendrick Lamar featured on which Marvel movie soundtrack? Correct. Which female rapper created the term of? And last question, which New Zealand city is Scribe from? Incorrect. You have a total of...
Spark Arena. The playoffs have begun. The semi-final series between the JackJumpers and the Breakers. Second quarter underway in game number 1.
How about that first quarter? Only 4 fouls called. The last time these two teams met, 42 fouls total. They are playing well with that physicality, but not getting their hands caught in the cookie jar.
Looking at a Breakers position here with 6 on the shot clock as Will McDowell-White. Barry Brown Jr.'s out there to start the second. The reverse. He's fouled underneath.
Tough to put that English on with that much bandage on the hand. He went to the left hand there. Did well to get the foul, but what do we hear from Brooke Roscoe?
Yeah, listening to the Breakers, Coach Modi right there in particular, and obviously we've talked about this all season long. It's a man who loves defense, but 12 points as they kick off their playoff run. 12 points in the first quarter. He is happy with that. If he can keep a team under 50 and they're dropping 20 in the quarter, they're going to go a long, long way. So winning this, the first time I've heard him happy about a defensive quarter, and a great time to do it if you're a Breakers fan.
Well, happy that won't last long, but efficiency so key for the Breakers defensively. And the JackJumpers' 3 losses to the Breakers this season, they never topped 39% shooting. In the 1 win, they shot 46.5. So they got to keep that shooting percentage down to keep this JackJumpers offense from getting where it wants to go.
Breakers average around 45% field goal percentage when they played. This Tasmania JackJumpers team shot 39% in their season series. As you can see, it got a little grindy there as Vidanovic and McVeigh battling, and the foul on Tom Vidanovic. These 2 players matched up in the playoffs, in the finals, grand final series last season.
Good minutes from Tommy B on the benches. Brantley checks back into the ball game, and both teams have been pretty liberal with the subs early in this one as they're looking for that combination that's going to fire them to victory.
McDaniel. As Krislovich seen the double, here's McDaniel. Kicking it out, Isaac White. And it's a shot clock violation. Good defense from the Breakers. Isaac White not happy. Great mullet though.
Breakers tied on a string. The rotations are brilliant early. Really doing a nice job of covering for one another, especially out of those double teams and those switches. A lot of communication out there, most of it nonverbal because of the loudness of the gym.
Cross-court pass from Lowe is tipped away. 13 on the shot clock for the Breakers.
And you can see how much attention Brantley's getting in the post. Both defenders there flashed at him on the strong side block. Barry Brown Jr. had an opportunity to flash back to the ball, but because he didn't, it was a difficult pass for Rob Lowe to get off.
Barry Brown Jr. with a little runner. The runner hand looks good.
The shooting hand is fine. Keep going to that strong right hand, doing what he does best in that mid-range, letting a teardrop fall.
Isaac White, Barry Brown Jr. bodying him up, kicked away by Rob Lowe, so it will reset to 14. And then we've got a warning on the JackJumpers bench as Michael Aylan's heard enough.
Assistant coach Jacob Chance, he's got some questions about the physicality with which Isaac White is meeting But this is finals basketball, and both teams, I think, are doing a nice job of being physical without fouling. We're seeing a lot of chests, hands are out, bodies are meeting each other, and those are normally the kinds of physical plays that officiating crews will let go, which has been the case so far in this one.
Well, Barry Brown is a former Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year for Kansas State. And his defense was stout there, bordering on foul.
Well, bordering on foul, but Rob Lowe with the weak side as well. Looked like he might have got a bit of hand when he reached in, but that angle was a bit tougher to see. But that's playoff basketball on the road. You're gonna have to be tough, you're gonna have to be physical, you're gonna have to play through the crowd noise and the excitement as well.
Oh man, see that? Jarrell Brantley just dapping up the kids with the towels. You love to see it. Rob Lowe getting the rebound there. Jarrell Brantley quickly endearing himself to the Breakers faithful, and Rob Lowe doing what Rob Lowe does best.
Well, I love the slip there. He gets off before he sets the screen, enabling himself to be a target, catches, surveys the defense, sees he's got that advantage for the easy finish and takes it.
Krislovich, Abercrombie bodies him up, and we got a whistle and a foul. And we got a foul on Rob Lowe.
Hustling back into the play, Krislovich had a decent look at it. Nice help from Abercrombie to force him back into that help, but just a bit too aggressive by Rob Lowe. Gets pinged at the foul. His first personal.
Second team foul in the quarter. Just over 2 minutes gone. And Tom Abercrombie will pick up the third team foul for the Breakers as he got somewhat of Milton Doyle on that one.
Heads up play by Milton Doyle. Tosses on the brakes. And Thomas Abercrombie was not aware that was the idea. He tries to shoot through it. Doyle stops. He said, hey, give me my catch. I'm going here. Abercrombie tries to run through him, and that's a foul.
So Abercrombie picks up that personal. Doyle looking for a cutter. Gives us something here. Skipping it right over to White in the corner. Abercrombie, great closeout.
Delayed closeout. He gets to it eventually, though. White needed to... Well, he wasn't quite sure about that shot early. That hesitation cost him.
Got to travel on Brantley. With Tom Abercrombie, is he a vampire? Like he hasn't aged since 2008 when he was a development player. His defense has always been great. He stepped it up again.
15 seasons in the NBL. It's that good, clean living. Thomas Abercrombie takes care of himself. He is a machine.
A machine.
Everything is about basketball for him.
Closing in on 400 games. Jack McVeigh's foul. The Breakers racking up fouls here. At his team foul number 4 now, with 7:29 to go before the halftime break.
I think in quarter time I mentioned too quickly that the teams weren't fouling enough. 1 foul in the Breakers in the first 10 minutes, 4 fouls in the next 2.5 minutes. So getting a little bit aggressive, but the aggressiveness from the JackJumpers is what's created it. That Jack McVeigh drive there, he didn't hesitate. Right on the rim, gets undercut, gets himself to the stripe, where he makes the first.
It is tremendous what the JackJumpers and Scott Rock have done in Tasmania. They have owned that island. They have made it their sporting home. And Tasmania's fans, My State Bank Arena, Silverdome, wherever they play, they love to see their JackJumpers go. And making the grand finals in your first season is tremendously successful. As Rupert gets that to go down.
Well, nice shot by Rupert, but a beautiful pass by Brantley, drawing multiple defenders and sending it right on the money.
And Rob Lowe will pick up foul number 2 as Rod Magnay goes strong. He goes down.
And that's the 5th personal or 5th team foul as well. So free throws the rest of the way for the JackJumpers. That's exactly what they want. Now fouls are going to send it to the line. They'll be able to set up that half-court defense and start to contain some of those fast break opportunities.
Well, Derek Pardon will come in for Rob Lowe. And Rob Lowe, offensively, defensively, he will always be physical. He'll pick up some fouls here and there, but Rob Lowe's offense, and the way that he's come off the bench and stretched the floor for Mody Maor and the Breakers, has been a real feature in the second half of the season.
Yeah, absolutely. His confidence has grown in his role in this offense. And he doesn't force it, but when it comes his way, he takes it, and that's such an advantage to have for a player coming off the bench. The opportunity to occasionally score in those double figures and really draw defenders inside and outside with his skill set.
Magnay splits the pair at the line. 28-15, 7 minutes to go. Breakers 5 team fouls. Offense is going great, though, as Will McDowell-White gets to the cup. Aylan says it counts. He's got an and one situation coming up for Will McDowell-White, who's really come into his own the back end of the regular season as well.
He's really orchestrating this offense nicely. We've seen some really nice passes out of the pick and roll into the post. We saw that huge three in the first quarter, but that one, when the C's open up, when he's got that driving lane, he puts his head down and he goes right to work, takes the contact, gets the foul. Looks like it was earlier in the pickup, but still able to make that finish and then get the free throw on top of it. A big 16-point lead early in the second quarter for the Breakers now.
We'll see how physical the Breakers will be with 5 team fouls. McVeigh going at Pardon, stepping back. Jeff McVeigh sticks that.
That's a beautiful bit of skill shown there. He knows he's got the bigger Pardon on him, so he doesn't want to take him straight to the rim. Creates enough space with that little Dirk-esque fadeaway to get the finish.
Dirk in the country recently as well. Dirk Nowitzki just hanging out at Foot Locker.
As you do.
Milton Doyle going at Jarrell Brantley, who stays vertical, no whistle. McDowell-White gets Brantley on the trailer. Brantley, hesitation, return. Good defense from McVeigh. Brantley gets it back. Still plenty of time on the shot clock. Sparkarine a little bit quiet with 8. Here comes McDowell-White looking at Pardon, looks him off. Left hand, put it up for Pardon and puts it in.
Maestro. He is running it like a maestro. Beautiful decision-making by William McDowell-White. He hesitates in transition, wants a great shot, not a good shot, and he gets one with the lob to Pardon.
McVeigh getting physical in there in the paint, and McVeigh loves it, absorbs it, soaks it up, and puts it in.
Love that mindset. You know, this team needs some offense, and he's taking it upon himself to get to the cup. If he can't get the whistle, he's going to get the finish. He knows the whistles are going to send him to the line as well, so he's got to keep that aggression up.
Offensive foul on Will McDowell-White with a little shove. Bogdanovic comes into the game. And that is his second one.
Yes, that's exactly swearing. We have a warning.
McDowell-White and Rob Lowe now both sitting on 2 fouls.
I believe the Breakers are getting called for a warning from the bench. Oh, it's on the coach. Some naughty words, I think.
That's strange. A warning on each bench now. Everybody's been warned. Now we can get to business.
McDonald back to Kenyon. What do we got here? We've got something on the baseline. Michael Aylan. And we've got 2 shots. Ryan Rupert with the hold down low. So with those 5 team fouls, 5:09 to go. Free throws coming up for the JackJumpers.
And that's the problem with getting those fouls early. It puts you in a position where you just have to be so careful defensively. Rupert well out of the play, had nothing to do with what the action that was happening up high. But regardless, he was concerned about the strength of Kelly, with good reason too, who's now at the line hitting free throws.
Magnate lining up on the Rashard Kelly free throw, makes it. Rupert kicks it out. Abercrombie, pump fake. Knocks down that 3. That's the Breakers' 4th 3 of this first half at Spark Arena.
They're a completely different offensive mindset than we saw most of the season from the Breakers. They are running at every opportunity and punishing Tasmania when they are not getting out in transition.
Looking at the size and strength of Kelly to go at Abercrombie, but he stays his ground. Tom Abercrombie, more elite defense. He can guard 1 through 5 at times.
Well, that 5's a bit of a stretch, but he certainly got the 4-man well in the post that time.
Oh, man, I was just doing it for his height.
You're a good guy.
Come on, man. It sounds like you've backed him down a bit in trainings over the years.
He was too bouncy.
McDowell-White stepping back with a rainbow 3 that fell short. Doyle. Abercrombie gets him. The rip through. Milton Doyle.
Professional play.
Tom just couldn't quite keep his hands free on that one. Foul shots coming up. Sorry, Case.
Sorry, Moles, but just a professional scoring play there. He feels the arms of Abercrombie on him. He knows he's trying to force him to the screen, and he just rips through baseline, gets that whistle, goes back to the free throw line. Tasmania not playing with great efficiency offensively right now. Only 28% from the field, 18% from 3. but they're finding a way to get themselves to the line, and despite being down 14 points or 15 points, they're still being able to tick over the scoreboard, keep within touch distance. At some point, the worm will turn for them. Offensively, it'll get going. But in the meantime, this is the kind of baskets they have to get, the grindy ones. Get yourself to the line. Just make sure you don't get too large a deficit to come back from.
4:09 to go in this first half. Breakers' lead is now 13. Barry Brown Jr. is back in the game for the Breakers. Had just 5 minutes so far. He's got that injured wrist, heavily bandaged. Modi Moore, if he wants to play, suit him up. Keep him going in the rotation. You don't want to get him hot then cold. He has had hamstring complaints throughout the season. He's missed 8 games. And he throws the turnover there as Kenyon looks for the rest of his team.
Oh, just before he crossed that court.
Just before. Gets the ball back. There's Magnate. Doyle. Harden picks him up.
Oh, that's nice.
What a move! Oh, Milton Doyle! Aren't you glad we highlighted him before the game?
Rock the cradle. Rock him to sleep with a beautiful little hezzy move, like he's going to come back out, freezes the defense, and gets right back in. And the Breakers had a big lead that is suddenly narrowing as Milton Doyle puts on a show with a beautiful hesitation, wide open after that stellar move. Well, you see the efficiency of the Breakers huge early, 61% from the field. They're shooting 43% from three. Both teams are getting to the line as well, but right now I think the big difference for the Breakers is possession. They've got 16 rebounds to just the 11 for Tasmania, although Tasmania has been able to pick 4 on the offensive glass.
And Modi Moore not happy with the way that Tasmania is slowly getting their way back into this game. Scott Roth, just a calm, patient man at this point of the game, but he can get fired up, emotional, and he embodies everything about this JackJumpers team.
And you can see what they're doing defensively. They're getting a little bit more aggressive. They're showing a little bit more on those on-ball screens, occasionally doubling, forcing the ball out, getting active in passing lanes as well.
Let's go to Brooke Rusko, who had a bit of a sneaky look into that timeout.
Yeah, snuck into the timeout of Scott Roth and the Tasmania JackJumpers, and he used the word that I love to hear at this point of the game, especially for this team: discipline. The staples that they've been working on, not just this year, but last year, and everything that he's built in them, they've lost in this first half, sorry. Can they get that discipline? Can they close out right? Can they rotate on the right side? And then on the other end, can we get the right shots that we're looking for? Who's taking the shots, and where are you taking the shots? So discipline was the key word in that timeout.
Repair back to Barry Brown Jr. Under 3.5 to go in the first half. Pardon comes up, sets a big screen. Barry Brown misses the runner. Kenyon fires it to Kelly. Kelly into Brantley. Brantley stays his ground, but Kenyon's there amongst 4 Breakers. Kicks it out. McDonald with the 3.
Love the effect Matt Kenyon had on this play. Both defensively so aggressive on Barry Brown Jr. Gets in, Phelps forced that turnover, or forced a missed shot, gets the rebound, pushes it to Kelly, doesn't give up on the play and gets a second shot. Huge position for him without a lot of statistical import.
Tom Abercrombie has had a little rest and he'll come back into the game. And he will come in for Rupert. Rupert has been really impressive since he's come back from a broken wrist. And they've done a tremendous job of integrating an NBL Next Star, not only into their rotation, but into the starting 5. And the way that he has progressed with his, not only his defense, but his offense as well, because there's a lot of talk about how good he was defensively, and he's proven that.
That three-point shot has really developed his his aggression in transition as well, his handle, a testament to his work ethic. And you know, for the next stars who are likely first-round picks to be, not the guys who got drafted and stashed, I really feel that he has had the most impact on winning when we're talking about an RJ Hampton in the middle ball or an Osman Dang. The way he has helped the Breakers on both ends of the court has been really impressive for a player his age.
Speaking with Liam Santamaria, NBL analyst, midweek during Sporting Rumble podcast, and Liam said the Breakers have cracked it. They've worked out how to use the NBL Next Star program, and they are at the forefront of it. Yes, Nick Stars have come into teams and been really good. Ariel Hakori, of course, before, unfortunately, tore his Achilles. Amongst others, of course, but Breakers turning dividends at the moment to repair. Donald gives it to Magnay. Magnay facing up on Pardon, makes a quick move, sweeping across the key. Brantley almost had it, falls to Abercrombie. Breakers crashing the glass in this half. Have a +4 advantage.
There's some wood being thrown around the court right now.
Magnay cleans that up. Oh, what a pass to Kelly! Kelly with the two-hand stuff.
And Tasmania bringing a little transition offense of their own, giving the Breakers some of their own medicine, and that 16-point lead has dwindled to 7. We've got some notes of consternation in the crowd as well.
This is what Scott Roth wants to end the half. 2 minutes to go. Build some pressure, eat away into the lead. Pardon goes upstairs in the height of Magnay. They can't believe that he's caught for a foul, can the JackJumpers.
But just the 4th foul of the quarter for Tasmania. Only Matt Kenyon with 2 fouls, everyone else with 1. And second time they've really taken the punches from the Breakers and countered nicely. The big early lead they came back from, and now coming back to this one. And this one it's looking like it's going to get challenged.
Yeah, they were upset that that was a foul call, and this is the benefit of having a coach's challenge. You quickly have a look at it on your video feed behind the bench. And Casey Frank, the inside knowledge, is looking at what the review booth can look at.
They're taking a very close look at it. No, not a challenge, just a timeout. The timing was wrong.
What do you reckon, though, Casey? Was it a foul?
Looks like it was a foul.
You've been wrong before.
Almost always.
Same.
And not just on these calls.
Oh, yeah, all through the broadcast.
Especially on that left side of the floor. Nice job. Just set yourselves down. Finish this quarter out smartly. Ball in front. Ball in front. Guard your yard. Sit and defend. Go gang rebound. We can get back to it again. 4 side. 1 side. I like any of that action coming out of there. All right?
Excellent. That's like a set. All things be all in.
Back and next time coming up.
All in. The facing all in.
Keep your work up. Finish the quarter out. Together. 1, 2, 3 together.
All right, let's go to Brooke Roscoe, who has been sneaky all game. What did you hear?
Yeah, it's been floating around. I didn't hear too much, but I was looking up at the score and I thought defense, defense, defense. We're in the playoffs. Yeah, that's great. But we all love people who can score the ball. I got on my stat book here. The highest scoring averages. This is amazing. This is what I would love to see. The greatest player to ever lace them up in the NBL, Andrew Gaze, owns 7 of the top 10 spots for highest scoring season averages. In 1987, Andrew Gaze averaged 44.1 points. Now, we're not scoring a bunch here, but I just thought that was amazing. I wanted to bring that to the table.
Oh, yeah, but I can hear everybody at home. But that was in a 48-minute game.
Yeah, but still, 44 in a 48-minute game is outrageous.
Now, anybody who uses that argument on a 40-point average, just go ahead and stop listening to that.
Need to go back to doing some more sneaky work as well. Thanks, Brooke.
Yeah, I got you.
Ooh, unfortunate for Liafa.
Liafa just sort of flashed there, collected Kelly's feet, and it sends Kelly to the line because team foul situation as Repair comes in for Liafa.
Both teams equally to the free throw now. This will be opportunities 9 and 10 for Tasmania. Breakers with 10 attempts themselves. The officiating looks extremely even both ways. Both teams are being allowed to play within the rules, use that physicality when appropriate. But when that hand's caught in the cookie jar, it's getting whistled pretty quickly. Liafa's 3rd personal as well.
This is the kind of situation that you are thankful that Harry Brown Jr. is good to go with that risk because can't afford to have a guard like Liafa or Will McDowell-White for that matter get into foul trouble as loaded in 1:45 to go. Kenyon up high on McDowell-White. Brantley sets the screen. Look away to Pardon.
Great read, Milton.
Milton Doyle all over it. And Milton Doyle with a catch over the outstretched arms of Rupert. Kelly has it.
Excellent. With the recovery in transition there by the Breakers, stopping that break opportunity.
Doyle kicks it out. Batted away.
And that's why you hustle back in transition. It would have been a clean look. Instead, they get it the other way.
39-32. Breakers' lead was as much as 14 in this first half. Kelly laces a three.
Well, timely offense. It's just on the spot when they need him most. Here in the final minute, gets a wide open look because of the hard show by Pardon, and he takes advantage with just the team's 4th triple out of 13 attempts.
Largest Breakers lead was 60. It's now just 4. Brantley, can he make it 7? No, it's too strong. Comes Rashard Kelly. Excuse me, Milton Doyle, the ball. Kelly to his left. Magnay up high, Brantley on him. Over the top is Rupert. And it will stay with Tasmania, 10 on the shot clock. 20.4 seconds to go in this half.
That's one that Rupert feels like he can get away with. He's got such great length. He can normally reach around and get that, but Kelly, a stout post player. He's got those wide shoulders. Did a good job of putting his body on it and forcing Rupert to go through his body to get that foul. And now a chance for his 7th straight points if he can hit both of these, and a chance to cut it to 2 for Rashard Kelly.
Rupert and Pardon sit down with Kelly at the line, and it's going to be Rob Lowe and Barry Brown back out there. Krislovich coming into the game. It's going to give Magnay a bit of a spell. Barry Brown wanting the crowd to get loud. More time added to the clock, 21.6 seconds to go in this first half. Rashard Kelly hearing it at Spark, and he silences it. Rashard Kelly, a 73% foul shooter.
It's apparently a little bit better in the clutch, because there is some noise being made for him right now.
Nothing but net on the second. Breakers will have the final possession if they want to.
7 straight points for Kelly to cut it to 2. The Breakers with the last retort of the half.
Barry Brown Jr. up high. 8 to go. First half coming to an end. Brantley has it. 3 to shoot. Brantley going against Kelly. Left hand, too strong. Jarrell Brantley and the Breakers will run off with a lead, but it's been whittled down to 2 as much as 16. They had it all going in the first quarter. The JackJumpers, last season's beaten grand finalists, looking for a road win. Start of the playoffs, semi-final series number 1. We're back after the break at Spark Arena. 39-37, not before we get to Brooke Ruscope, who's been sneaky enough to get an interview with Jack McVeigh.
Yeah, let's not run away that quick. We do have Jack McVeigh with us. They came out, they had their first blow, but you guys kind of counted in the second. You brought this one back to 2. Must be happy with that.
Yeah, I mean, we ended that half the way we want to play, JackJumper basketball, but we've got to be better for the whole 40 minutes if we want to beat this team.
Run us through JackJumpers basketball. How do you guys close this one out and get game 1 in this playoff?
Rebound, keeping people in front, and being physical, playing at our tempo of style of game.
Good luck in the second.
Thank you very much, Rob.
Barry Brown Jr. is with us as well as he makes his way over. Barry, this is playoff basketball. We expect nothing less. You guys came out heavy in the first. They counted in the second, but this is playoff basketball.
I mean, yes, playoff basketball is physical out there. Everything's hard, offense and defense, so we just got to keep going and get ready for the second half.
The big question everyone's asking, we can see the hand. How was it in the first half?
It was good.
Congratulations on 6 man. All NBL second team. Good luck in the second. Thank you. Boys.
Barry Brown Jr. and the Breakers with a 2-point lead at Spark Arena. 39-37. It's all up ahead. After the break, Casey and Brooke will break it down.
So I've got Laura Costas, who's going to be explaining what we're going to do. All right,
First of all, I need to say, so Costas, I spoke this on him about 20 minutes before the game. He unfortunately did an injury, but what a sport he is, did that. Thank you very much, Costas. Alberta Restaurant, Casta Day, one of the best pizzas and pastas we'll ever have. What, Costas? Well, very good. Give it up, Cisco Breakers! Yeah, it's time for our friends at Nerve.
I love playing playoff basketball. I think giving yourself the best chance to win a championship every year makes basketball fun.
Full vocal crowd behind us. A semi-final game is as good as it gets.
Growing up, back at high school, I was watching the Breakers, win those championships.
The Breakers have broken through 8 seasons of heartache.
Mika Vakonas and, Paul Hernandez and all the New Zealand greats.
Beckway for the win.
Obviously very memorable, the shot that went down.
Pandemonium, absolute scenes.
Seeing the championships and how they won and the happiness and then that group was definitely what we want to achieve.
For every team feels like they have a chance to win in the playoffs. We definitely feel that way. That was one of our common goals for the year, is to win the chip, so that's what we plan on doing.
For 3.
When I first went to the finals against the Breakers, I thought I'd get another chance, and I haven't been back to the grand final since, so I won't take this moment, and I know our team won't take the moment for granted.
Playoffs is a different level. It's a regular season. Trust in Moody and the coaching staff to get us ready, and whoever comes on top, we'll be ready.
Oh, you have got to be kidding me!
So I'm with Joshua Masashe.
This Breakers team are trying to leave their own mark on Breakers history. He's chasing banner number 5 to put in the rafters, and what a first half. It was 39-37 to the Breakers. Casey, big first half for a couple players. But let's look at the highlights before we jump into that. And what did you make of that first 20?
Well, each quarter sort of had two stories. The first 5 minutes, the second 5 minutes. And the first 5 minutes, the Breakers are coming out swinging, big punches. But Tasmania took them. They took body blow after body blow and responded each time. You see transition been really important for the Breakers scoring. They haven't had as much efficiency in the half court. Tasmania, on the other hand, they were able to find a little bit of success in the half court, but most importantly for them was ticking the scoreboard over when things weren't going well. And then late in that second quarter, really got things going in transition, found a little bit of life there, and that gave them the juice they needed to come back into halftime just down 2.
Speaking of life, the crowd that we heard here, I haven't heard it that loud since probably 5 years ago when the Breakers were in the playoffs, and they were loud for a couple players. As we look at the stats right here, as we see a beautiful his in that dime they got Rashad, the bucket and wide open transition. Taking a look at the first half stats right here, turnovers very even, rebounds very even, but we expected nothing less.
Yeah, well, I'm surprised that Tasmania is as close as they are, allowing the Breakers to shoot 52% and still not shooting a high percentage themselves, only 35%, but they've done just enough on the offensive glass to keep themselves in it, and it's been timeliness of scoring, timeliness of turnovers. They've had a knack of stopping those runs and getting them run sealing themselves.
Well, one player who was big in the first half, in case I heard you use this word maestro, as he was getting into the paint. 8-4 and 4, Will McDowell-White in that first half. What'd you like?
He just had such a great feel at times in that first half of when to score and when to look for his teammates. When they're coming on those on balls, if they're not in front of him, then they're showing he's going in. You see on that kind of the defender, drops down too low, so he steps back with a huge triple. He's also getting things going on the glass and getting himself involved there and finding his teammates coming out of the all balls at the right time. When he was able to put stat lines together like that, 8, 4, and 4, that's right in line with what the perfect game for him in terms of Modi Moore, who's looking for that 16, 8, and 8.
Well, one person that we did talk about in the pregame was Milton Doyle, first-team All-NBL player. We expected nothing less. He's seen a lot of coverage. They're switching everything. They're trapping things, trying to get the ball out of his hands. 7-2 and 2, and a beautiful his we'll probably see here.
Well, he spoke about it in pregame that he might be more of a decoy today. He gets so much attention from the Breakers coming off screens, but the way that the game flow went, he's going to have to get himself more involved. and we saw that late. This is a beautiful move put on display there. 7 points, but it was a loud 7 points. When he scored them, really had effect on what was happening out there.
Well, it's a big second half that is on the way. We're moments away from jumping into the second half. 39-37 to the Breakers. We'll be back right after the break.
You see this delicious.
Welcome back to Spark Arena. Half-time. And playoff series 1, game number 1 between the Breakers and the JackJumpers. 39-37. It's a low score as you'd expect between these two teams. The Breakers had a big lead and Tasmania ate into it. For more on that from the Breakers, Coach Modi Moore, he's with Brooke Roscoe.
Coach, this is playoff basketball. Welcome back into a 2-point game going into half. We expected nothing less, but you came out with that heavy punch and then they came back in the second. You wouldn't be happy with that.
It's playoffs, man. It's not supposed to be easy.
What did you say at halftime?
Just that.
Good luck in the second.
One of the greats. One of the greats, Brooke. Brooke, you also spoke with Mika Vakona, Breakers legend involved in the Tasmania setup. And what did Mika have to say to you at halftime?
I'll be honest with you, that was one of the weirdest things that I've actually ever done. I spoke to Mika about how Tassie's going against the Breakers here at Spark Arena. But what he did have to say was they loved their last 5 minutes of the second quarter. Everything that they did there was right. They were aggressive, they trapped well, they rotated well, they got the right shots. If they can keep that 5 minutes into the second half, they're going to be very happy.
Well, speaking of 5 minutes, it was 4 minutes 59 to go in the second quarter as Breakers legend Mika Vakona. Hopefully we'll see his number lifted into the rafters at Spark Arena soon. He deserves to be up there with Bruton, Boucher and Henade, that is for sure. But 4:59 to go on the second quarter was the last time the Breakers hit a field goal. And because the lead was 16 at one point, the JackJumpers went on a 20-6 run to close out that second quarter.
At times it can get stagnant for the Breakers, especially in half court. When that transition's dried up, so did their offense. They have to find ways to manufacture buckets when that happens.
Here's McDonald, stripped away by Pardon. Rupert looking for Pardon, goes up, puts it in, and one. Ron Rupert started like he did in the first quarter.
He just puts his head down and is determined to get to the cup in transition. We see him once again put the head down. I mean, not a lot in it for Doyle. He was asking for a challenge from Coach Roth, but I think they're saving that one in their pocket because they might need it late. A difficult call that didn't go his way, but Rupert takes advantage because of the heads-up play in transition once again.
Makes that foul shot. 42-37. Kelly with the ball. Magnay up high. Looking for a backdoor cut. Another turnover. 2 in a row for Scott Roth on the Tasmania JackJumpers, and Abercrombie goes up high, and Scott Roth wants a timeout.
Well, impressive finish by Abercrombie going up to dunk. But the challenge was great at the rim. Still finds a way to shoot a two-handed shot off the glass from a foot away. Rupert initiates that second break after finishing on the first. And it's that length and defense in the half court creating offense in transition.
Tom Abercrombie all smiles on the bench, and you can understand why. A one-club man, been there since 2008.
He's a player who's been here for all those title runs. This must mean a lot to get that door back open.
It does, man. It's awesome to be back here and to be able to have a home semi-final at Spark is something we've dreamed of, and I've dreamed of for a very long time. So it's awesome that the night's here. We're looking forward to it.
Playing the JackJumpers, 5th time you face them this year. They've only got one win against you, but in those 4 games, what are the lessons you've learned that you have to bring in today to be successful in tonight's game?
Yeah, I don't think there's any secrets when you play Tassie, the kind of intensity they bring and the physical style. And we like matching up against that. We feel like we match up pretty well, but they're a tough team, and it's been a different game each time, it feels like, with guys in and out. And again, tonight without Majid, they're a different team again, but just as dangerous. So, yeah, tough one for us.
And just finally, you already got the war zone. What's the scratch from, Tony?
If a 3-year-old creamed me, he was getting a little stir crazy with the storm coming in, so I got a hit over the head with a stick this morning. A little good luck charm.
Well, a good way to start. Get you ready for it. Thanks a lot, Tommy.
Yeah, Tom Abercrombie, 4-time champ, grand final MVP in 2011. And wherever you are, you're affected by storm. Hope you're safe, hope you're batting down the hatches. I hope you're enjoying this playoff performance by these two teams as the Breakers get another stop at the defensive end. Out of the timeout, not what they wanted. The JackJumpers as Brantley misses that, but it just falls to Rupert.
And the easiest offensive rebound he'll get today. Scott Roth won't be happy with that.
Pardon, little floater, little runner. Magnay cleans it up, left it short to Derek Pardon.
And Magnay does know how to get himself back involved on the glass after challenging that shot too.
Kelly met with a double team, fires it out to McDonald, facing up on Rupert. Rashard Kelly. Well done. And Magnay's called for the foul over the top of Derek Pardon.
Not one he's particularly happy with, but I like the bump and grind down low. He's got to keep on testing the water, see what he can get away with that physicality. He's got a bit of size, and would do the JackJumpers well if he could get himself really involved on that offensive glass and try and get some cheap buckets there.
Will McDowell-White with the ball. 44-37. Tasmania went on a 20-6 run. As Magnay goes down, as Will McDowell-White puts it in, and Magnay looks a bit gimpy getting up. That's not good for the big man.
Well, explosive move by Will McDowell-White there, really blowing by defenders who are expecting the screen to come from the other side, and a wide open drive to the cup.
These two teams will go at it in playoff game number 2 of semi-final series number 1. Excuse me. Playoff series number 1. I'll get it right throughout the game. But they'll do it on Thursday in Tasmania. Whether these two teams can get out of Auckland tomorrow or Tuesday remains to be seen with the Storm as Magnay going into Will McDowell-White's chest with 2 on the shot clock, and he gets it to go down. It's the first bucket of the third quarter for the JackJumpers.
Well, ends a 7-0 run that the Breakers started the quarter with, and a nice bit of finesse shown. Thought he might have gone with the power, but the late little flip up and in is good enough for 2.
Abercrombie saw 2 defenders. McDowell-White's open. Slices that 3.
Really unselfish play. Both players setting up the other shooter. McDowell-White drawing defenders. Knew Abercrombie was going to be there, but then spaces out afterwards. Good defensive effort, but couldn't get that third rotation. McDowell-White nails it.
Breakers on a 10-2 run to start this quarter. Kelly can't get the roll. McDowell-White goes up, times the rebound perfectly. Riper's up, spinning. Spins the defense. Abercrombie can't get it. Good defense, good hustle by the JackJumpers.
Unbelievable team defense. All 5 players got back in transition to challenge that and secure the rebound afterwards. You love that kind of work rate.
Doyle with the left hand, it rolls down. Milton Doyle gives them a much-needed bucket.
Back and forth. The JackJumpers, they continue to, at the start of these quarters, get punched right in the mouth, but they're finding a way to work their way back in from about the 6-minute point on.
Riper's in the corner. Fires it across to Abercrombie. 8 to shoot. Riper has it. What has the kid got? He's going to go deep. Big 3 coming up. Magnay almost had it. Pardon had it. He lost it. And eventually it's McDonald with the ball.
Breakers not sending a lot of players to the glass. They're really determined to stop those transition opportunities.
7 to shoot. It's Kelly going against Riper. He likes that matchup. And there's a bit of a reach in. I think it's going to be on Tom Abercrombie. It is. So that'll be Tom Abercrombie's 3rd foul.
And that's gonna hurt the Breakers. He's had a lot of influence on the defensive end today. As Isaiah Liafa checks into the game, a solid defender himself, and then you see racks the arms of Kelly, a good determined move. Trying to split that double team, takes it on the forearm and gains possession on the baseline again. Nice challenge going through multiple screens to take away an easy lift from the Dolphins.
Ryan Riper is as advertised. The Alpha's in the game. 3 ball. Missed it. Kenya with the rebound.
Well, they're getting the looks they want. McDowell-White off that penetration, finding the shooters, but not converting as well as they'd like to.
Krislovich backing down Derek Pardon. Right hand gets the roll. Nice move from Fabian Krislovich.
And once again, having a nice influence off the bench. Hasn't had a lot of opportunity in the ball in hand, but he has used it well when it has. Another bucket there. Nice move in the post.
Isaac White ready to check in for Scott Roth and the JackJumpers. 5 minutes to go in this 3rd quarter. Frantic start for the Breakers. Brantley needs a bucket. Can't get it. Pardon's there, though. Tremendous position. And the Cleveland, Ohio native knocks down a big dunk.
And that's going to drive Scott Roth crazy. Derek Pardon, the only Breaker hitting the offensive glass. You got 4 white shirts around him, and he's the one getting the rebounds. Pardon heads to the bench, as does Matt Kenyon. But Derek Pardon, a well-deserved rest after really influencing that game those last few possessions there.
Jarrell Brantley is 1 for 8 in this game. Rob Lowe in the game for Pardon, who gets a well-earned rest. Krislovich going around him. Riper picks him up. Look at Riper's denial. As Milton Doyle wants the screen. Breakers jump out. Been a real feature of the NBL this season. And Riper with another rebound. The Alpha with the ball. Riper's into everything. The Alpha operating with Lowe, tapped away. Good defense from the JackJumpers. White's pushing it. And Riper gets him. And Ryan Riper, that'll be foul number 3 on him.
White's speed in transition has been a real change of pace for this JackJumper squad. Aggressively getting out on that wing. McVay sees him, gets on the rim, doesn't get the bucket, but gets the foul. And for me, JackJumpers at the line is probably a better than a made layup going the other way. They love to be able to set up that defense in the half court, force the Breakers to play in those situations where the JackJumpers continue to force turnovers. Each team sitting on 9 turnovers right now.
Isaac White, 18 points against the Taipans. saw on the score ticket there, that graphic, over wide, off the bench, energy personified. Powered by Mullet. Wanted that to go down though, wanted the and one, but he's at the line now for a second free throw attempt, and he makes it. That's good. So the JackJumpers lead is now, his deficit is 6, down 51-45.
In this quarter, down 12-8 at the moment, but the Breakers looking to try and find a little bit of something in the half court. It's been a hard slog though.
Brantley looking to go. Gives it to Barry Brown Jr. White's on him. 2-3 zone by the JackJumpers. And then Barry Brown looking to go at it, and he's fouled.
A little bit surprised that the JackJumpers aren't just sitting on that right hand of Barry Brown, forcing him to the left. Well, he's out there playing. He certainly doesn't have that same amount of ball handling, and we're going to get our first look at Cam Glidden with Thomas Abercrombie still on the bench with 3 fouls, and Ray Rupert heading to the bench.
He's got 3 fouls as well, Rupert, so Cam Glidden, as you saw, Kent's Taipans beating grand finalist in 2015. Looking to go back to the finals. As he said in that little package there at halftime, hasn't been back since, hungry for it. Cam Glidden, Jarrell Brantley powering the Breakers to a 5-win run to end the regular season. Been a tough night for him at the office. I should say, 1 for 8. Modi Moore, energy. 53-45. Barry Brown Jr. at the line, made the 2. Jared Weeks back in the game. And Cam Glidden tied up with Jack McVeigh. He's called for the foul. No, Clint Steindl as well. We saw him warm up, thought he might have been good to go. There was an injury cloud over Clint Steindl, who is a really good weak side three-point shooter, just a deadly shooter from anywhere, to be honest. So no Clint Steindl, along with no Josh Majette for Tasmania. The talismanic point guard import. McVeigh operating on low. Brantley with a rebound.
Just like to see a little bit more ball movement, Tasmania. When the Breakers are moving, that's when they send to lose. Tasmania a little static on that possession.
Again, it's Brantley not able to get that finish.
And he's trying to force the action. Hasn't got a lot of opportunities on the catch and shoots or in places he wants to get it. Trying to force it there and doesn't get success.
Also, really good defense on him as well. He is on an absolute heater coming into this game. So Tasmania have done a great job as Krislovic gets Frownley underneath and gets loose for a dunk.
He had Lee off a down low, who goes for the steal, and once he missed it, it was easy coming after that. But Krislovic having a real effect on this game. He's got 9 points, 4 for 5 from the field to go along with 3 rebounds.
Game 2 Thursday night, game 3 back here at Spark Arena in a week's time, if needed. Glidden for 3. Needed that to the Breakers.
Sits on the bench for 28 minutes. First touch, drops it. That is veteran leadership. You'll love to see it.
That is a professional shooter right there. McVeigh. Oh, Barry Brown up high. Was the whistle late?
I did not see the contact up high. Maybe something with the body down low.
I think the call is late. I think it was a delayed call on Barry Brown because the verticality on the shot was fine, but he got him on the body book initially.
He closed the gap a little bit as that shot's going up. We'll take another look at it here as McVeigh gets in.
Maybe a call there on the hips, perhaps. But anyway, McVeigh's at the line, makes the first, 56-48.
I do like that both coaches are saving those challenges for late in this one. It just has a feeling of a game that's going to come down to the wire.
McVeigh good for 2. JackJumpers still haven't cracked 50. 49 for them with 2:15 to go in this third quarter. Both of these two teams love the slower pace, although both teams have got out and pushed it at times, trying to mix it up. And then we've got Milton Doyle picking up a foul, trying to go over the top of Brantley to get the steal. Milton Doyle shakes his head, Jarrell Brantley.
Tasmania is all over these passing lanes. Their hands are active, and when the Breakers are trying to thread that needle in the teeth of the defense, that help is coming fast. And Breakers fortunate not to get a turnover in that one, just as Milton Doyle was unfortunate to pick up his 3rd foul.
Both teams 14 fouls with 2:07 to go in the 3rd. Leafa pounded by Jared Weeks. Looking at a switch, goes back on him, and there's shots coming up for Isaiah Leafa.
Jared Weeks holds up the hands, but it was the body contact on Leafa that got that call for him. As Leafa's talking about the show from Jack McVay as he's trying to come out. Nice job of attacking the back of that defender who comes out and shows hard. Jared Weeks just can't get around in front quick enough because that space was vacated. Does well to feel that contact and get himself to the free throw line for it.
Isaiah Leafa, his father George, former teammate of Casey Frank. I'll just leave it at that.
What a great teammate.
Wow.
George was.
George, tough player, strength.
Zay was practicing with us from the time he was 14 years old. As a 15-year-old, he started playing in the New Zealand NBL. And even then, you could tell that he had a special future in front of him, and he was starting to deliver on that promise.
As a 16-year-old, he was in the Tall Blacks as well, the second youngest ever behind Ty Wynyard. He was 15 when he was in the Tall Blacks.
Yeah, he was my roommate too. I don't think
poor Ty.
Yeah, I'm sorry about that.
Sorry, Ty. Why would they do that to Ty? So young. Jared Weeks. Close out by Brantley's good with one on the shot clock, and the stuff by Low on Krislovic, but it falls to Isaac White.
Krislovic in the right spot again, really putting his stamp on this game in all aspects.
Jarrell Brantley with a reach in. And shots coming up for Isaac White. White place, White time.
Well, he got the ball first, but then he got on the arm. Certainly, that initial foray was quite good as we take a second look at that offensive rebound. Great block from Rob Lowe.
I said White place, White time. Did you like that, Casey? It's got nothing from you there.
I keep looking at the replays.
Oh, okay.
It's a loud gym. Sometimes it's tough to hear you.
Brooke and Courtney didn't give me much either.
Yeah, well, they're paying attention to just you.
No, I don't think they are, actually. I think they've probably got their ears tuned down, to be honest. White good on the first. Isaac White, good on the second. Casey's turning up my mic. Thanks, man.
Yeah, I'll catch the next one. I'll turn up just your voice in my ear so I make sure. I got to be your best audience.
He sounds so needy. Will McDowell White back into the game. His dad, Barry, in the stands at AFL Legend, 3 titles with the Brisbane AFL franchise. And Barry Brown Jr. kisses it off the glass.
Oh, I just love that change of speed at the end. He's all downhill, but he gathered himself so nicely to lose the defense of Sam McDaniel late.
Closing in on a minute to go in this third quarter. Isaac White over Rob Lowe. Milton Doyle, excuse me, Jack McVay obscured there, and it's going to be Will McDowell White. Glidden has it, poked away by McDaniel, and then we're going to foul Jared Weeks, doing what Jared Weeks can do, getting in there and hustling, and a little bit too hard as Barry Brown gets back up.
Well, Barry Brown Jr. got a little lackadaisical at the end of that one, and Jared Weeks, there was nothing but hustle in that muscle. Certainly a foul, but you don't want to see a foul that far from the basket, that late in the shot clock, but you can't fault the hustle, but you know, Scott Roth has to be looking and just do a little bit of thinking there, understand time and situation and what the Breakers would have had to do to try and get a good look out of it. Instead, Barry Brown Jr. going to the line to try and score his 10th and 11th points of the ballgame.
Barry Brown Jr. averaging just under 20 points a game. He has missed a handful of games out of St. Petersburg in Florida. Played in Germany and China. Good defender out of college, great defender, Big 12 Defensive Player of the Year in 2019 for Kansas State. And Barry Brown Jr. good at the line, keeping this lead now to 11.
Charles Crowley checks back into the ball game with 11 points. He has not scored here in the third quarter. Might be a good time to try and get him involved here at the end of the third.
McVay just went between his legs. McDaniel
had the right cut at the right time. McDaniel goes low instead of high, and because of the speed of that cut, it goes straight through the nutmeg with the nutmeg. Breakers had a chance for a 2-for-1, but they're not going to take it.
Hasn't been a feature of theirs, actually. It's Cam Glidden strikes another 3.
Happy about it as well, the veteran. 2 touches, 2 buckets. How you like me now, coach?
52% from the floor in this game for the Breakers. 6 of 16 from deep. Cam Glidden off the bench, delivering as Weeks strokes the three over Rob Lowe.
That is just a huge response. You know, he's shooting 48% from three on the season, and it's on a great move to finish the quarter and keep that Tasmanian JackJumper squad within touch distance.
10 minutes to go in game one of playoff series one between the JackJumpers and the Breakers. We'll be back after the break.
So we have 11. Rebecca, Paige at 40. And Zach with the roll number 1515. Let's hear it. For all our contestants.
It is 10 minutes to go in the fourth quarter, about to get underway. 65-54, Brooke Roscoe with more.
Yeah, listening to their Breakers timeout or over their quarter time there, Coach Modi, he was saying a lot of four-letter words that we cannot repeat, but it was a seven-letter word that was the main thing in their timeout. Rebound, 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 rebound. 9 offensive rebounds in a playoff game. Game one is not going to get it done, so can they close this one out? Box out, ground and mound, get the ball to get out and run.
Brantley operating with Lowe, and that's all he needed. Just a little bit of space from the double of Rob Lowe with the mismatch, and Jarrell Brantley starts the fourth quarter in style with a three.
Haven't seen a lot of doubles from Tasmania today, but they open up the fourth quarter with one-day punishment. The Breakers on the season plus 16 in that first minute of the fourth quarter. The Tasmanian JackJumpers minus 15 net on the year.
Weeks kicks it out. McDaniel strokes that pull-up.
That's a big shot there under duress. The crowd is just begging to blow the roof off, but shots like that keeps them in their chairs.
Apologies to the McDowell Whites. I called Will's dad Barry. It's Darryl, as Will's called for the offensive foul. He sends Jared Weeks down, his former teammate. But yes, it's Darryl McDowell White. Apologies to the McDowell Whites. That's just unforgivable. We're not really an AFL nation, so I apologize.
As we see Jared Weeks sell that contact, takes the bump, goes straight down to it. Good sell, enough contact there to get the whistle when you drop the shoulder like that and extend the arm. It makes it much easier to get blown for that offensive foul, and Jared Weeks takes advantage of it.
Weeks. 10 on the shot clock. Jared Weeks calls it. And Jared Weeks catches them out with the drive, gets the and one.
How about Jared Weeks finishes the third with a huge three and steps up, cuts it to 10, and a chance to hit it into single digits if he hits the free throw here. This is why you depend on these veterans. been around a long time, not shooken by the moment, well familiar with this arena as well.
Jared Weeks having something to say in the second half to Scott Rock, looking for something in his backcourt, and you're going to get it with Jared Weeks. He plays both ends with an unbelievable amount of intensity. Harden. Backing down Kelly. Good defense from Rashard Kelly. Barry Brown Jr. 6 on the shot clock. Operating with Parton now. They hung off him. Can't make them pay. The JackJumpers get the rebound.
Great defense by Rashard Kelly there. First the defense in the post, but then running out and making Barry Brown Jr. pick it up.
Jared Weeks, high archer. Barry Brown Jr. just sort of bobbled that with that wrist guard there. And then Isaac White will be called for the personal foul. Milton Doyle will come into the game. He gets to the bench, so will Isaiah Le'afa. (68-59). Still plenty of basketball. 8 minutes, 4 seconds to go, Casey.
And this isn't a big 9-point lead. Sometimes a 9-point lead can seem insurmountable. This one seems pretty tight. Tasmania is only a shot or two away from getting right back in it.
Brantley might have something to say about that. Another 3 missed by the Breakers.
Decent look, solid execution in the half court, but can't get anything better than a deep look.
Rashard Kelly will go to the line to shoot 2.
And about time for him to get back involved in the game. Has not scored since the first quarter. 11 points on 2 for 8 shooting. Has had a bit of tough running when he's catching the ball in the post in the second half with a lot of attention, so he gets a little bit of freedom in transition with the step through.
Did you say he hasn't scored since the first quarter?
Since the first half.
Well, the first, but still.
He had those 7 straight in that second quarter, and since then hasn't gotten involved.
He's their leading scorer at 11. I mean, yeah, they've scored 59. It's a balanced score sheet. But they're going to need a little bit more out of Rashard Kelly and Milton Doyle to provide some offense. Milton Doyle has 9 on 3 of 7 shooting.
It is a balanced score sheet for Tasmania. 10 players have contributed in one way or another. Kenyon the lowest with 2, as well as McDaniel.
Conversely, McDowell White is the Breakers' leading scorer with 13. Barry Brown Jr. has 11. Parton has 10. And we've got a missed free throw, and it will go to the Breakers off the loose ball.
What a play by Thomas Abercrombie there. Getting involved, knocking it off the foot of McDaniel. What looked like an extra possession in 10 turns back to the Breakers.
Alpha. Will McDowell White. Abercrombie. Just the vision of McDowell White to find the open shooter, and Abercrombie knocks down another 3. That's his 3rd of the evening.
Thomas Abercrombie, possibly second. They haven't put it on. I thought that was his 3rd. I scored you wrong, but still a huge shot that he took his time with.
McDaniel. Rashard Kelly crosses over. Gets a clean look. Falls to Abercrombie.
Oh, now the Breakers starting to control the pace a little bit more. Milk that shot clock in the half court.
Isaiah Le'afa scooping it up and in.
Really nice action off the handoff. Normally the Breakers aren't too aggressive in those situations, but when the big didn't step up to help, Le'afa turned his head and got straight to the cup.
Magnay comes up high, Parton showing hard on that on ball, and then Le'afa gets amongst it and steals it. Brantley looking for the trailer. Parton with the left hand and in.
Oh, beautiful, unselfish basketball there. First out of the double as we have a timeout to the JackJumpers. Scott Roth has seen enough as the lead balloons to 15, but out of that double between Parton and Brantley, Le'afa brilliant in transition.
75-60 at Spark Arena, the Breakers in control. And they've got that run going, have the Breakers, as Casey said, an evenly balanced 9-point lead, but just the energy before that timeout is what they need just to get a little bit of separation.
Well, it felt like one team or another was about to make a run. I thought it was going to be the JackJumpers the way this game has gone, but instead the Breakers grab control of this one. 6:33 to go and a 15-point lead. It's going to be difficult for a team that's only scored 60 through the first 35 minutes to score 15, outscore the Breakers by 15 coming into the finish.
This is playoff series 1, game number 1, best of 3 for both. And some of the Breakers fans get in amongst the pink memo sent out by Breakers Social. And you have to say, Breakers faithful have done a great job. As Murdo Moore and Scott Roth plot the end of the 6:33 fourth quarter. And this Breakers 15-point lead needs to be bitten into by the JackJumpers. If you're wondering what a JackJumper is, apologies to Tasmanians and Australians, a very, very aggressive ant.
Well, how apropos. So is the mascot, so is the team.
Yeah, it personifies the way they play, really, isn't it? They will come up, they'll bite you, and they're in just their second season, Tasmania basketball on fire. 4th on the ladder. Tasmania beat Cairns to earn the right to get into this playoff series number 1 against the Breakers. Sent Cairns into a playoff game against the Perth Wildcats. And the Perth Wildcats were taken care of in Cairns in the game before this one. So the Taipans will play the Kings. Coach Adam Ford said, we're built to play and beat the Kings. Will McDowell-White tried to find Derek Pardon, and down went Will Magnay. Went down heavily as well, but he's back up. And that is 2 big bodies colliding under the rim.
Taking another look at it. Derek Pardon going up.
Wow, Will Magnay.
Was there a foul called, or we just stopped for the? I don't think a foul was called.
No foul.
Just a stopping play as Magnay was on the floor. Just couldn't quite get it up and over. Nice defense there to try and slow down what has been 7 straight points for the Breakers.
Abercrombie on the denial of Milton Doyle doing a great job. Isaac White can't get him the ball now. It's Rashad Kelly. Doyle just looking at him. He wants to go at Brantley. Rashad Kelly, crossover, back of the iron. Not a lot going on for Scott Roth and the JackJumpers on that possession. He kind of just shakes his head, puts his hands in his pockets. He hasn't been very demonstrative in this game. It's Scott Roth.
Back-to-back turnovers, looking for the lob. The Breakers had been taking great care of the ball.
Pardon gets a piece of the White shot.
Wow. Great help there. Brantley goes for the first fake. White thought he had enough time, but Pardon closes the gap quickly.
Just gets it over half as well before the 8-second call.
Well, they've slowed down the pace prodigiously. They're trying to milk this clock a little bit and really work things in the half court, despite their deficiencies scoring there in the second half.
Under 5 to go, a 15-point lead for the Breakers. Brantley, turnaround on McVeigh. It's Rashad Kelly with the rebound.
Well, it's got to be something from Milton Doyle here down the stretch if Tasmania wants to get back in at 4.5 left.
Long shot missed again.
Milton Doyle just hasn't really been able to stamp his name on this game. 9 points on 3 of 9 shooting, just 1 for 5 from deep.
You really are seeing the effect of not having Majette in this game, the point guard. He can create for the offense as Gerald Brantley goes to work on the block. And he's fouled, so he'll go to the line to shoot 2. Jack McVeigh wants the elbow, wants the hook. He's not going to get that call as Krislovich comes into the game. But yeah, Majette, just not giving him that long ball, not giving him that offense at the point guard position.
Well, he swiped at it. Probably looked like more of a foul than the contact that was there. Brantley will be a bit disappointed he didn't get the finish, but you can take the consolation prize of 2 free throws. That's 8 straight points for the Breakers after Tasmania had worked their way back into it again before the Breakers skip it away, and 16 points equals that biggest lead that they had way back in the first quarter. Now 17, the biggest lead of the ball game after 9 straight for the Breakers here.
Well, game 1 of playoff series number 2 between the Kings and the Taipans, Wednesday night. This coming Wednesday night, these two teams will play Thursday night. And both, if needed for a game 3, will be Sunday.
Big shot.
McDonald knocks down that three.
A bit of hesitation by defenders to give him that kind of time, but they really needed something to go their way. With 4 minutes, time is running out. They need to get more aggressive if they want to make a run. If not, they might just be getting ready for next Thursday's game.
Harden spinning around Krislovich, who did a great job of just standing his ground using that wide body of his.
Derek Harden, 12 points on 5 for 7 from the floor. He had a great look at it. Krislovich does just enough.
McVeigh is going to go at Will McDowell-White, 6'5" point guard. McVeigh with Harden on the help and just too aggressive. And Jack McVeigh trying to get something going. It's just been a little bit ISO ball at the moment for this JackJumpers offense, though.
Both teams have been pretty stagnant in the half court here in the fourth quarter. Really relying on that one-on-one play. The offense hasn't done as much work for them. You know, both teams all game long have been really excellent from the free throw line. The JackJumpers 19 for 21 at 90% up to this point right now. New Zealand 17 for 19 at 89.
McVeigh makes the first. 3:19 to go, down 13. Might be tough for the JackJumpers to get back in this game. Misses the second foul shot. McDowell-White, JackJumpers extending their defense. Repair at half court into the game. He's got 3 fouls, mind you. So early after, I don't think we're going to see Barry Brown for the rest of the game as well. Nurse that wrist injury. There's Brantley. Look away. Repair. We've got a whistle before the shot. And it's Derek Harden in the key, called for 3.
Well, the big fella, he loves to plant himself down low and wait for those offensive rebounding opportunities. And he's like, somebody put that shot up. Just the extra pass and unselfishness of the Breakers there works against themselves.
Go to Spatial Jam and have a look at his heat map, his shot chart. He's had 1 shot attempt from 15 feet against the Hawks in the last week of the competition.
And he let that one go up quick, too. It was quite surprising.
It was so surprising, Casey texted me about it. Speak of the devil, here he is, operating where he's supposed to. Gets the and one, he'll go to the line to shoot a free throw.
And that will pretty much put a seal on this one in transition once again, which is appropriate for how the Breakers have taken control of this ball game. Not great efficiency in the half court, despite shooting 53% overall and 40% from 3, but it has been transition where they have found the majority of their success. And once again, Derek Harden letting the fans know we'll count that one, as he's looking at the leading scorer with 14 points to go along with 9 rebounds.
To 64. And so Scott Roth goes to the bench. Bairstow into the game. Be his first minutes, actually, Casey Frank. He's busy trying to make me choose the Foot Locker player of the game and what has been a grinding affair. Krislovich grinding on Harden. And Derek Harden with 15 and 9 as a candidate. But so's Will McDowell-White's 13, 6 and 7.
But I'd like to repair. He's got 9 points, 5 rebounds, but the way he was igniting those breaks was great. But
2 steals as well, man.
This was a complete and total team performance today. You know, it's tough to say who's been the best player of the court because it's been an entire night of teammates lifting each other up.
Can we give it to the players who got on the score sheet and they just divvy up the Foot Locker voucher?
Did they get a voucher? Oh, so they got to be nicer to me from now on.
I assume. Brantley with a rebound on the missed free throw. Casey is writing down a name and we will reveal it at the end of the game. Repair is fouled. And it's the 4th team foul on the JackJumpers. It's going to be on Milton Doyle.
Not yet. At the free throw line are the Breakers, still taking it from the sideline. You know, Tasmania's gone through a lot. They, of course, were up on the road in Cairns, had to travel down to New Zealand. And travel is going to have a significant effect on this series. It is not an easy trip from Auckland to Tasmania. There's a stopover in between, especially with the weather that we're dealing with right now outside. So we'll see who's going to be a bit more fatigued in game 2. The Breakers able to overcome that fatigue with that big rest coming into game one.
Lealpa for three. Shot clock winding now, knocks it down. Just under 2 to go in the game. Breakers lead up to 19 now, biggest in the game. Doyle's foul. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. Walter Brown, the New Zealander who played in the Sal's NBL, about to check in.
Well, Walter Brown, an athletic, springy player, playing for Canterbury in the local league, but this game was 68-60. Since then, the Breakers have gone on a 15-4 run to close it out.
And Michael Aylan's given them the calm down as well to the coaching staff. They are reviewing this play. Have you made up your mind who the Foot Locker player of the game is, Casey?
Yeah, well, they asked for it quite early. The production crew, they wanted it immediately.
They love it as soon as tip-off. As soon as they hit tip-off, it's like, who's the Foot Locker player of the game?
It's tough to pick early. And
The foul on pick 1 will stand. 2 shots.
just rolling the dice there. It was Modi Moore. Call a timeout, get some guys in the game, and quite possibly stretch this lead out.
He wasn't really about the play being reviewed, was he?
He's going to use a timeout anyway.
Yeah. Scott Roth and the JackJumpers will go back to the drawing board for this one. Tasmania, My State Bank Arena. It is a massive challenge to win on that floor. Michael Aylan wants the JackJumpers back on the floor.
He wants everybody.
He's just dishing out the cautions on everyone. Now they're telling him to calm down.
Well, I'm pretty sure this officiating crew, they've got a plane to catch.
Let's give Michael Aylan the Foot Locker player of the game.
Always and forever.
I love him. He's great. He is an outstanding referee.
How come when you say he's great, it sounded sarcastic?
No, because when you'd say it, he's great. You and referees have a long, illustrious history.
Stop giving me a reputation I don't deserve.
You deserve that reputation. There are 100 referees listening right now. Doyle makes the second. Walter Brown will come into the game. Straight out of the 1970s with that haircut. That's glorious.
Milton Doyle reaches double figures at that one, sitting on 10 points to join Kelly with 12.
Good defense. Knocked away. Donald has it. Can he be rewarded with a bucket? The alpha was right there on him, though.
Well, you were just a bit aggressive that last possession. You got to know the clock is your friend now. Slow it down. Just ensure you don't turn the ball over. That's the only thing that can hurt you.
Sam Timmons has it knocked away by Kenyon. Sam Timmons off the bench getting his first taste of playoff series basketball.
Always nice when you can clear out the bench a bit, get everybody an opportunity to touch the floor, experience the environment. As this crowd is filled with some vigor, but I got a feeling there's a crowd in Tasmania that's going to try and ump that ante.
Alex McNaught off the bench, getting his taste of postseason basketball with 1:21 to go. The backup point guard, development player. It's been good in spurts for Modi Moho as well. Timmons misses that, and it's going to be Vidanovic over the back, just drawing this game out a little bit longer.
Oh, that's
a technical. Michael Aylan has finally had enough. He's had enough of the JackJumpers.
So we're going to get one free throw to the Breakers before we get the free throws as Matt Kenyon on the floor saying, what happened? Who did what?
It's been a long, long game between the referees and some of the bench of the JackJumpers, and Glidden, a very good free throw shooter.
How about Cam Glidden off the bench? Things were tight when he came out. 2 for 2 from deep.
Are you making a case for Foot Locker player of the game here?
Yeah, why not? I'll tell the truck, we'll switch it around.
Don't do that to them. They've typed out the key. They've got it ready to go.
Bairstow misses the first. as we're just trying to get through this final minute 19 without any injuries.
Dan Futu at the scorer's table. He'll come in on the made free throw. He's going to come in for Glidden. And as Casey said, great off the bench, the veteran. 2 for 2 from deep. Cam Glidden is 7 points. Jared Weeks coming in. And McDonald will take a seat. McNaught, Weeks on him, getting trapped in the backcourt. Rupert. Kenyon got a hand to it. And it's going to stay with the Breakers, 19 on the shot clock. Need to get it over half court. And Aylan reminds him 4 seconds to get it over. It's when the shot clock hits 15. That's the 8-second call. So McNaughton is going to push it. He gets it over with a second to spare. Bogdanovic to Rupert. They're on their feet at Spark. Some of the hardy who came out in this weather. Bogdanovic has it stripped away. And they like what they see. Breakers postseason basketball is back at Spark Arena. Game 2 Thursday night. Overhead to Rupert. Stepping through, right hand. And Timmons knocked it off the cylinder.
Oh, they counted it. Did that count? Yeah, they're calling defensive goaltending.
Looked like Scott Ross had enough. He said what you just said, that Timmons knocked it off the rim, and he can't believe that's called a basket. And even the score bench are looking back, thinking, hold on, Sam Timmons got that.
Take a second look at it. Yeah, it was definitely Timmons with the ball on the rim. Should have been offensive goaltending.
Yeah, this is left hand.
Well, either way, that gets Rupert up to 11 points to go with 5 boards and 2 steals, 2 assists.
Here we go. Rupert wants some burgers for the crowd. He'll go to the line to shoot 2. They need another point on the foul shot, though. They need 90 to get some Burger King or Hungry Jack's in Australia. Well, is someone chanting Burger King into an effects mic? Or is that a referee's mic?
Rupert's got to be a little bit careful at this stage as well, taking off on fast breaks with 23 seconds left. Realize discretion can be the better part of valor. You've got a bright future ahead of yourself.
He's got a bad date coming up in June, July. 4-2. They want burgers, but they're not going to run the score up because they don't need the points percentage. They really want the burgers. Mody Moore's waving it off. They don't want to run the score up on the JackJumpers. They've got the win. They don't need to do it. They don't need to give them any fuel to add to the fire. That is playoff series 1. They just dribble out the shot clock.
The crowd is disappointed.
The crowd, I don't think
they wanted their burgers.
They don't care.
They don't know about that stage of it.
Yeah. Handshakes all around though. A tough, hard-fought game between these two teams. 88-68 though. Breakers 20-point win will go on the record books. For the first time in 5 years, they're back in the postseason and they get the win. Game 2 is Thursday night. And Spark Arena will take a break and we'll break it down after that for you.
Can I give you that? Wonderful, thank you. We've been on court. Any flight after 7 is cancelled. So our understanding is there's only 2 Qantas here. So they're going to let the 6 and the 605 go out, but because they haven't allowed any planes.
First time since 2015 and a massive crowd.
Yeah, no, thank you so much for what they came out tonight. I know it's a little nasty outside and probably have to go through all this stuff to get here, so we appreciate you coming out and supporting us. I think that was a fantastic, awesome thing for the playoffs.
Thank you very much, sir. Let's get to the Skyport Lakers. Military Top. Please go promptly to Wichita. The trains are still running, but they are finishing earlier than
Welcome back to Spark Arena. A big win for the Breakers, a 20-point win, 88-68 over the Tasmania JackJumpers. And one player who had his fingerprints all over that game was Will McDowell-White. He had 5 of 8 from the floor, 6 rebounds, 7 assists, and he's with Brooke Roscoe right now.
Here with your Foot Locker player of the match, Will McDowell-White. Welcome back to the playoffs. This must feel good for you. You've been here with the Breakers. You've seen the highs, you've seen the lows. Last year was a long season. Now you're one game away from the playoffs. How's it feel?
Just makes everything worth it. You know, what we've been through and coming back home to this unbelievable crowd. It's just all the boys and Modi, you know, just buying in, and we're doing well.
Team win, we look up the scoreboard. 15 was the highest, Derek Pardon, but across the board, steady diet of everybody getting in there. You must be happy with the team effort tonight and no individuals as a team performance.
Yeah, that's what we want every game. You know, we don't want one guy to stand out. You know, to win a game with a guy with 15 points. I mean, it speaks credit to our team.
The word that was getting chucked around with you, especially getting into the paint right there, was maestro. You found a way to get into the paint, finding your good mate over there, Derek Pardon, a few assists, dimes, 13 points for you as well. What did you see out there that you liked?
Well, they were just mixing up the covers, and it was just my job to read it. You know, they threw in shows, drops, swipes. Yeah, it was just my job to read it, and I did that.
One thing I've worked out with the Breakers is you understand job's not done. Still one game to make it into the playoffs. What's the next couple of days look like for you guys?
Just get ready for the next one.
One more. Good luck. Congratulations.
Appreciate it.
So Will McDowell-White and the Breakers walk off Spark Arena and head to Tasmania. My State Bank Arena will take a break here. Sky Sport viewers will come back to our international viewers. Good night. So the Breakers get that win at home, and you can see the joy from the bench there. Spark Arena has emptied out. If you're in Tamaki Makaurau, if you're in some of these storm-affected regions, we truly hope that you are staying safe, you're battened down the hatches, and you are ready to ride it out over the next couple of days. These two teams have to travel to Tasmania, Casey, and it'll be interesting to see whether they can get out of Auckland the next 24 hours or so.
That's the real key. You know, this was a night of counterpunchers for Tasmania. Through 3 quarters, they were able to fight their way back in, but in the end, that 4th quarter just ran out of juice. But buyer beware. It was just a season ago where they went down 1-0 to Melbourne United in a very similar fashion in the playoffs and came back to win the next 2. So this is a script they have written before.
Efficiency personified in the key is Derek Pardon. He's with Brooke Roscoe.
Derek Pardon, big game from you. You dominated in the middle, 15 points, got it done. What'd you like out there tonight?
Man, we just played like we wanted it. We knew this was going to be hard for our game. They just came off a good playing game, so we knew they were going to be ready, and we had a little time off, so we didn't want to be rusty. So we just tried to bring the intensity from the jump.
You guys did bring the intensity from the jump. You really got it done. And then there was the highs and the lows. That's a game of basketball, but you guys managed to get it back. A couple of things to work on going forward. What can you guys work on in these next 3-4 days?
For sure, you hit on the head, just trying to be focused for the whole 40. We felt like in the second quarter or so, we kind of dipped a little bit, but we brought that back up in the third. So just trying to keep that consistent for a whole 40.
How good is your mate, Will McDowell? Why he's finding you left, right, and center, dimes, getting into the paint. How fun is it, the connection you two have?
Hey, best guard in the league, period.
Congratulations. Good luck.
Thank you.
Derek Pardon, he is a beast in the paint, Casey.
Well, the man in the middle once again. You know, actually against Tasmania this year, he has struggled just a bit. He hasn't had his greatest offensive games, but he was able to overcome that today. And it was off of pure hustle. The lone warrior on the glass on multiple occasions, running the floor, his teammates looking for him. His finishing at the rim, always superb. You love that efficiency, 6 for 8 from the field to get those 15 points, 9 rebounds again. Stout defense on every possession. You could not ask for a better teammate.
You couldn't ask for a better player to have on your management staff in Mika Vakona. He's been there, done that around this league. And it's sort of a homecoming for him, but he'll head back to Tasmania. He's also general manager of the Franklin Bulls in the Sal's NBL. So Mika Vakona,
a lot of hats.
A lot of hats. And for Jared Weeks and the JackJumpers, it's nice to have a player like Mika Vakona, but they have to regroup, regather for Thursday night. He's with Brooke.
Yeah, Jared, we were just talking. The Breakers did the job at home. Good team at home. You guys can do the same thing. Expect a big crowd as you guys come in. What's the next couple of days look like for you guys?
Yeah, a bit of travel. Hopefully getting home tomorrow. We'll see what the weather does and regroup. Like you said, they took care of home, and now it's our turn to do the same.
How was the last couple of days been? You guys played obviously in Cairns, quick turnaround. You got here quickly. That one, you come out. There was highs and lows of that game as well. There's points where I thought you guys might run away with it. Then Breakers crowd got into it. They got into the paint. They found it. So what's the last couple of days been like for you guys?
Yeah, I mean, it's been like every other road trip. I know we've been on the road for a week, but that doesn't faze us. We're a tight bunch. Like I said, we had a roller coaster game. We rode the highs and the lows. I think we just got to be a bit more solid at home.
One thing just off the court, it's weird for us to see Mika on your bench. What's it like having Mika on your side against the Breakers here at Spark, a place that you know very well as well?
Yeah, you can't have him back. Ours for life.
Hey, Jared, good luck in the second, and we might see you in a couple of days.
Appreciate it. We'll see you.
Sunday, game 3. It'll be Spark Arena if the JackJumpers can get up in Tasmania. And Jared Weeks and the JackJumpers, you can absolutely guarantee that they'll throw everything at the Breakers in game 2. Here's how it looks for the play-off series games. Kings Taipans, that series tips off on Wednesday night, Casey, and then Thursday night, these two teams will go at it again. Friday night will be game 2 of the other series, and then if they need it, game 3, Sunday for both.
Tasmania is going to be a different environment. Every ounce that the fans brought for the Breakers today, that Tasmanian crowd is going to bring for their JackJumpers. And this is a team that is vastly improved on its home court. Some of those guys get to they gain some stripes when they're playing on that home floor. And I expect a much improved fourth quarter effort from the JackJumpers moving forward.
A very impressive game from the Breakers to come out. They sort of sat back and watched how the play-in games panned out. Once they got the JackJumpers, they knew what they had to prepare for. We might see you back here on Sunday afternoon at Spark Arena, or we might not. Depends what happens Thursday night. Until then, good night. Stay safe if you're in the eye of the storm.
But we can get it out of the way sooner rather than later. He does know that we're time pressed. No action here yet. I just have to